Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 2 of What's Better, WWE Monday Night Raw or WYW. Um, James is about to upload another episode this week, so he wanted me to do this again, and I figured it was fun to do it before. So I'm obviously going to review Raw first since his WYW thing isn't up yet, and I'm going to review Raw first. He says it's going to be up sometime this week, so I'm not sure when this video will be up. So let's start it off. Raw. This is the Raw review for I actually have no idea what today's date is. December 28th, 2015. And I'm not gonna watch the pre-show this week because I'm kinda late into getting into watching it right now, so I'll probably do that in a few minutes. And the advertised stuff that's gonna happen is John Cena's gonna return and he's gonna be facing Alberto Del Rio. I think that does make sense. I am kind of stoked for Cena's return in a way because ever since he's been gone, the product's been kind of eh. I mean, it probably will still be the same, but maybe Cena coming back would be something. They kind of did spoil his return. They could have had him come back in a decent program. But they already spoiled it by having him be the cover of the Royal Rumble poster. But he is going to face Del Rio. That match makes a lot of sense because when Del Rio returned, he beat Cena for the U.S. belt, so that does make sense. And I don't think anything else is scheduled to happen. I'm not sure how Raw is going to be this week because right now WWE is just kind of in a lull right now because usually during Christmas week and this week they're kind of, and are in a little bit of a lull until 2016 starts and they start building up the Royal Rumble. So we're going to have to wait and see how WWE is this week. So that's it. I'm going to watch the show, and as it goes to commercial, I'm going to pause it and get my thoughts on it. So that way it will give time to build up and I don't have to deal with the commercials. So let's start with Monday Night Raw. Okay, so we get JBL, Michael Cole, Byron Saxton on commentary for this show. The show opens up with Vince McMahon. And actually, I didn't even say this, but this is the final Raw of 2015. I hope it's good, but we'll have to wait and see. But the show opens up with Vince McMahon, which was a nice surprising way to start off the show. I thought that was cool. And he comes out and he talks about how he had to have dental surgery a couple of weeks ago after Roman Reigns, Superman punched him. And he calls out Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns comes out. And Vince McMahon says that what you have done to the McMahon family has been heinous after what you did to my son-in-law, Triple H. And he says that when Triple H comes back, he's going to get his vengeance on him. And after turning his back to Stephanie McMahon, you don't turn your back or embarrass a McMahon family member. And after Superman punching me, and he says that he has the right to fire you. And he says that eventually you're going to realize... Actually, eventually the crowd starts to say, we can't hear you. So Roman Reigns says, they can't hear you. And then Vince says, but they can hear you. And Reigns says, they have selective hearing. I thought that was a good line. And then... Vince says that he owns everything. He owns the ring, he owns the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and he owns him, and eventually Roman Reigns is going to realize that. And then Roman Reigns said that you don't own this, they own the ring. And eventually the crowd, I think, lost interest in this segment. I mean, it was a good segment, I thought, but I think the crowd was starting to lose interest in it because they started chanting for Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. And when the fans started doing that, Vince McMahon says, shut the hell up. And Reigns says, you riled him up. So then, eventually Reigns asks, what's my punishment going to be? Are you going to put me in some weird handicap gauntlet match? And Vince says that, no. He's going to make him wrestle all the time, which is pretty much what he does for any of the roster. He says that he used the Wild Samoans. He used Alpha. He used Sika, which Sika was, I believe, his father, and Alpha is his uncle. And he says that he used them for every money that they were. He had them go out wrestle night after night, and he used them, and he made money off of them. And he says he's going to do the same thing to Roman Reigns. And then when he brought up his family, Reigns shoves Vince McMahon, and he starts holding his neck. So then Stephanie McMahon comes out with some police officers and wants to have Roman Reigns arrested since he put his hands on Vince McMahon. But the officers refuse. He says, we're not here to work for you. We're here to... just as security. And Stephanie McMahon says, but you saw him put his hands on Vince McMahon. And then the guy says that because she keeps like yelling at him, if you yell at me again, Well, she says, if you don't calm down, we're going to arrest you. So then Vince McMahon comes up, and he says that not to talk to his daughter like that. He says that this is ridiculous, and he says that, you know who I am? I'm Vince McMahon, damn it. I own you. I know who your boss is. And then eventually he loses it, and he starts grabbing the guy and physically assaults him. And then Vince McMahon gets arrested, and he gets taken away. I thought this was a nice opening segment. The only problem is they do these angles, it feels like, so often. But I did like this segment, and it was pretty cool. And that's how the first segment ended. But I thought this was a good segment here. It was something different to start off the show. And anytime you have Vince on the show, it makes it feel different because he's on so rarely. And when he is on, it at least feels like it's something special. So I did like this segment here. So let's see what happens next. Okay, so we get a match between Kevin Owens and Neville, which makes sense to be a match since Neville won the Breakout Star of the Year when Kevin Owens clearly should have won it. And they should play a little video package of everything that Neville's done this year to show why he's the Breakout Star of the Year. And they have the match. Neville hits an Insiguri in the corner. He goes for his red arrow, misses. Kevin Owens goes for the pump-up powerbomb, counters it with the Hurricanrana, beats him clean with a pinfall in like 15 seconds. That was the entire match. It was stupid. This made Kevin Owens look weak, and this made... Like, I understand they're supposed to be surprise victories, but come on. This made Kevin Owens look weak. Then afterwards, Kevin Owens just beats the crap out of him. This was stupid. This was all bad. This was stupid. This made Kevin Owens look weak. They've been making him look strong, and they just ruined it by making him look weak here. This made Kevin Owens look weak, and this didn't make Neville look weak, but this just... I mean, no one benefits from this. Neville's not going to benefit from it, and Kevin Owens, this just was stupid. This is just really stupid. Okay, but I actually forgot to mention this before, but before the Owens-Neville match, it showed Vince McMahon being taken away and arrested in the police car, and when one of the police officers like forcefully forced Vince in there, and Stephanie McMahon says, "Isn't that police arrest? It's a police assault?" So I thought that was cool. But afterwards, though, so now we're back to after Owens versus Neville, and Neville's being helped to the back, and Owens just takes him out with a clothesline, and then he throws him into the steps, and he goes to powerbomb him on the apron. He says, "Breakout Star of the Year, I'm going to break your neck." And then Dean Ambrose runs out. They brawl for a while, and Kevin Owens retreats. And I did like this part. I just didn't like the fact that Kevin Owens lost in 15 seconds. It just made him look like a joke, so I thought that was bad. But I did like the part with him attacking Neville and him attacking... and the brawl with him and Ambrose and Owens. I did like that stuff, so that wasn't too bad. That was good. Okay, so they played a video package that was played earlier today. The Rock had this on his Instagram account, and it's a video of him going through his career, and then it shows WrestleMania 32. So now The Rock is gonna be at WrestleMania. This is gonna be cool. I'm really looking forward to seeing The Rock at WrestleMania. That's going to be awesome. I wasn't sure if he was doing it or not, but I think, yeah, but I'm really happy he's doing that. I'm really happy he's going to show up at WrestleMania. That's just made WrestleMania huge now that he's going to be there. I don't know if he's having a match or not. I'm wondering if he's going to appear at the Royal Rumble since it is in his hometown. So we're going to have to wait and see. And then Becky Lynch gets interviewed, and Charlotte's not there tonight because she's going to let Becky Lynch wrestle Sasha Banks alone, which is not good because Naomi and Tamina Snuka will be out there. And she says that's okay because she doesn't need help to win matches. She came from Ireland, and she didn't know anybody, had no money, and she got to New York. She's lived in New York, and she got to the WWE on her own. And she doesn't need to stand in the crowd. She wants to stand out, and she wants to just focus on a goal, which I thought her promo was pretty decent. So then we get the match between Sasha Banks with Naomi and Tamina Snuka versus Becky Lynch. And before the match, Sasha Banks cuts a promo talking about how she's back in Brooklyn, but Boston's better. She has a New England Patriots, and they trashed New York pretty much. I thought it was pretty funny. And they actually had a good match. I wasn't expecting them to have a good match, but they actually had a solid Divas match here, which I wasn't expecting. Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch start doing some chain wrestling, and then eventually Naomi pulls Sasha Banks towards the ropes when Becky Lynch has her in a submission move, and then Becky Lynch ends up taking out Team Badge. He hits a dive on him, and then Sasha Banks hits the knee, goes off and hits the knees right to the back while she's on the turnbuckle, which was cool. And Sasha Banks dominates the match for a while. And then Becky Lynch makes a comeback. She actually ends up hitting a suplex while Naomi's Sasha Banks' arms into the turnbuckle, which was cool. And then Sasha Banks accidentally hits a suicide dive, taking out Naomi and Tamina. And then she hit a backstabber and tried to get Becky Lynch to the bang statement, but Becky Lynch kept fighting out of it. And then eventually, behind the referee's back, when Tamina Snuka has the referee distracted, Naomi kicks Becky Lynch in the head, and then Sasha Banks goes for the bank statement, but Becky Lynch keeps trying to fight out of it, and then eventually Sasha Banks beats her with the roll-up while holding the tights, and it was a good match. I kind of wish she wouldn't use the roll-up because they already did that finish. I wish she could have just beat her with the bank statement, but a roll-up was fine. And I thought it was a good Divas match. I was shocked. And then Renee Young's outside the police station where Vince McMahon's being held, and we find out he's being charged for resisting arrest and assaulting a police officer, and Stephanie McMahon's trying to get an attorney over there, and they're going to try to place bail when they get a chance. So I wonder what the update's going to be. And right now, Kofi Kingston is about to have a match with Kalisto. I actually think that's going to be a really solid matchup. Who could win? I actually don't have no idea, so let's see what happens. But while it actually hasn't been that bad so far, it's actually been pretty good. Okay, so we get Kofi Kingston with Big E and Xavier Woods versus Kalisto with Sin Cara inside. And before the match, the New Day cut a promo talking about how in the summertime in New York, they won the WWE Tag Team Championships. And it was also the debut of their trombone, and they also had the debut of their hit songs that they sang. I remember them singing that. That was actually pretty cool. So they go to... So Big E tries to use his pitch, but he can't get the Finn to work, so he says, we're not going to sit anyways because you guys didn't vote for us to be Tag Team of the Year. And when they boo, Xavier Woods says, you guys are just booing yourselves. So then they say, what else do they say? I don't remember what else they say. But they cut some great promos. And then Kofi Kingston has his match with Kalisto. No, actually, I don't remember what else they say. They talk about how Kalisto won the OMG moment of the year. And Kofi Kingston says that every time they talk, they have an OMG moment. Like, anytime your kids are being bad, the grown-ups call us, and they say that we beat down your kids. And then Xavier Woods says, aren't you a father, Kofi? And he's like, that's what's so OMG about it. So then we get the match between Kofi and Kalisto. And when Kalisto comes out, when it plays his video package, when it says when he does the Salida del Sol, Byron Saxton says on commentary, that was Kalisto's coming out party, which was weird they would say that. But then Kofi Kingston and then the New Day, like, that was just an okay moment. That wasn't anything special. So we get the match. It was actually a solid matchup. I kind of wish they would have had more time, but whatever. And Xavier Woods gets on the apron. And this distracts the referee long enough where Kalisto hits a drop kick and then Big E catches him. And then Sin Cara dives on Xavier Woods and Big E. And Kalisto beats Kofi with a roll-up. And then afterwards, the match is over. Xavier Woods gets on the mic and he says, I am disgusted that you would have these children look at you as an inspiration. And you cheat like that to win, just to win a match. And Xavier Woods says that he's going to teach him a lesson. You're going to come out of hiatus because revenge is a Big E. And so now it turned into a match between Big E and Sin Cara. And during the match, Sin Cara is taking out Big E. And then Big E swipes his leg and he goes right down on the floor and he lands right on his shoulder. And it actually hurt his shoulder. I'm not sure if this is legit or not, because the doctors had to check on him afterwards, but he was still able to continue the match. And Big E dominates him, and then he goes to ram at him, and he accidentally goes into the steel post. Sin Cara hits a moonsault, and he starts flying around the ring and hitting crossbodies and all that stuff. And then eventually Xavier Woods gets on the apron, and Kalisto tries to stop him, but Kofi can't and ambushes him, and he goes into the steel steps, and then Sin Cara takes them both out with drop kicks, and Big E hits the big ending for the win. And then that was it. I thought this match was actually pretty solid. I thought it was better than the first match they had, but that match was good too. So I like the stuff with the New Day. It was good. Okay, so we get the Miz TV year-end review of Spectacular, and pretty much before he tries, what happens is he talks about the greatness year. It's been a long year, and he goes to say January 1st, and then Ryback comes out and says that the big guy is hungry, but he's even all filled up with Miz TV. And then he burps, which was weird.
Lucky dog? She said she misses you.
And then, so yeah, then he burps. And then he gets in the win and says that 2016 is going to be the year of the big guy. So then, Goldust comes out and says, is the Miz going to win a SAG bag or an Oscar? And he says the answer is no. And he said he's going to win some golden thing, which is Goldust. So that was the joke. And then Zack Ryder comes out, and it was in his hometown, Brooklyn. So, you know, made sense. Zack Ryder says that this year is going to finally be the year of Zack Ryder, which is not going to happen. So then the Miz goes to says, you guys are being disrespectful. So then he goes to say, January 2nd. And then R-Truth comes out, and he talks about, and he says that you should vote for him to be Superstar of the Year. And then the Miz says that the Slammies were last week, and he says, what you saying? And he says, the Slammy were last week. You already won a Slammy. And then R-Truth says, oh, this was on me. Sorry, this was my bad. On me. This was on me. I need to get a daily planner. And he says, then Miz says, speaking of a daily planner, January 3rd. And then and then Heath Slater comes out, and he says that he has a lot to say. And then the Big Show comes out, and Heath Slater says that he is not, nobody cares what he has to say. He knocks out Heath Slater. Big Show just clears the win, and R-Truth and Big Show start facing off, and R-Truth knocks himself out. But then Big Show, it doesn't work. Big Show hits a choke slam on him. And Miz had taken off. And then Big Show and Ryback go at it. But then Big Show tosses Ryback out. And then Big Show, everyone's chanting, please retire at the Big Show. And he's like, let me think about it. How about I enter myself in the Royal Rumble as #1, win the whole thing, and win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania and stick it straight up your ass. Well, he doesn't say that. He's like, I'm not going to let you guys get me in trouble. And then that was the end of the segment. I don't know how I feel about this segment. This segment was bad and good at the same time. It was funny because they had the R-Truth part and Heath Slater came out there. But it was just really thrown together and weird. So I'm just going to say this was a mixed segment. I'm mad about it. But, you know, whatever. But this was just kind of a mess segment. Because they did have some good things in this segment. But they had a lot of weird stuff in this segment. But let's see what else happens. Okay, so we get Ryback versus Big Show. This was a match. And it was very bad. It was pretty boring. I guess it wasn't bad, but it was boring. I just didn't care about it. And Big Show walks off and loses by countout. So, who cares? Okay, so now we get Dean Ambrose and the Usos versus Sheamus, Ken Barrett, and Rusev. And Sheamus gets on the microphone. And he says that how dare people are cheering for the fact that Vince McMahon got arrested. And he also says that that they should be ashamed because Vince McMahon for years has put smiles and gave everybody an entertaining show, which isn't true. And he says that tonight they're going to dedicate the most vicious beating to Vince McMahon. So we get the match. It was actually a solid 6-man tag team match. I thought they did some really good things. The heels dominate one of the Usos. They target his leg for a while, and then Dean Ambrose gets the hard tag. He starts hitting everybody, hitting all his moves on Rusev. Rusev actually went for a kick at one point, but he countered it with a neck breaker, which I thought was cool. And then eventually he knocks Barrett off the apron, but Rusev super kicks him in the face. So then the heels get the heat on him for a while. And then the other Russo gets the hot tag, starts hitting all his moves, and he goes to pin Rusev, but... no, it goes to pin Sheamus, but Rusev breaks up, throws him shoulder first into the turnbuckle. Tug at the other Russo's leg. And then Ambrose hits a clothesline, setting himself and Rusev outside the ring. And then the other Russo goes for the splash, but Sheamus gets the knees up, and Sheamus blow kicks him for the win. And I thought the match was very well done. Then afterwards, from behind, Kevin Owens attacks Dean Ambrose, throws him into the steps, and then he power bombs him right through the announce table. I thought that this made Kevin Owens look really strong, and I'm really enjoying the program now for the Intercontinental Championship between Ambrose and Owens. I think they need to do some sort of stipulation match for the title. And that's about it. And this was all very good stuff. I enjoyed it. Okay, so I had to move into my room because people were sleeping where I was filming the review. So the show ends with John Cena versus Alberto Del Rio. Before I talk about that, I do want to mention that I don't know if anybody watches Impractical Jokers, but they were in the crowd tonight for Raw. I don't know. Well, at least 3 of them were. I saw Sal, Q, and Joe. I didn't see Mo. Maybe he was there and I just didn't see him. But I thought that was cool. I knew they were wrestling fans. I watched their show. This reminded me, actually, I got to watch their show again because I forgot about it because of school. But yeah, well, if there's been new episodes anyways. I might review that show, actually. On my CM Brothers channel. I'm thinking about it, actually. But anyhow, it was cool to see them. I popped for that. They were in the crowd, which was cool. I actually kind of wish they would have done something with them. The one time I wanted them to do something with celebrities. I guess technically they didn't know they were going to be there, but still, they could have done something. But that was cool that they were there. Anyhow, who was it? Okay, so we get Cena versus Del Rio. Before the match, Cena comes out, and he talks about how every week the U.S. title used to mean something. When he held that title, he defended that championship every week with the John Cena United States Championship Open Challenge. And he thinks that ever since Del Rio has been champion, he's been a weak champion. He has never defended the thing. And he wants Del Rio to come out here and face him for the United States title to do something big on the final Raw of 2015. And then the League of Nations come out. And Alberto Del Rio says that he doesn't have anything to prove by putting the title on the line. He's not going to defend the title in this city, and he only defends the title against worthy challengers he deems worthy. And Cena calls him an idiot because this is a great town to defend it in. This is the final Raw 2015. He pretty much says that he's a punk bitch, and he says to get in this win because all you did was get lucky with one kick. And he says that Del Rio says he knows what he's trying to do. He's not going to let him put the title on the line. And Cena says, well, let's just get this over with. Why don't you come down here and all your other guys can just beat the crap out of me. So then Del Rio goes to says that he doesn't need help from Cena. He's going to do this all by himself because he beat him when he returned in Hell in a Cell by himself. He doesn't need the League of Nations. And then Del Rio does agree to put the championship on the line. So we get the match. It was actually a decent match. Del Rio dominates 90% of the match in the beginning. And then Cena hits his 5 moves of doom. A tornado DDT. And he gets him in the STF, but Del Rio is able to make his way to the ropes. And then Del Rio hits a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. Cena kicks out. And then Del Rio hits a backstabber. Cena kicks out. And then Cena goes for the AA, but the referee takes a bump. And then Cena gets Del Rio in the STF, and Del Rio taps. But since the referee didn't see it, it didn't count. And then he goes to put the referee in the win. Rusev super kicks him in the face, and Sheamus puts the ref in the win. And Cena's able to kick out of it when Del Rio goes to pin him. And then Del Rio hits a backstab. Well, Cena takes out Rusev and... Well, no, Sheamus accidentally bro kicks Rusev, and then Cena hits an AA on Sheamus. And then Del Rio hits a backstab and a kick to the head, but Cena kicks out. And then Cena hits the AA, and he goes to cover, but Sheamus and Rusev attack Cena, so Cena wins by DQ, but doesn't get the championship, and they just beat down Cena. And then the Usos went out to try to make the save, but they're still beat up from the 6-man tag team match earlier in the night. And then Roman Reigns comes out, he spears Rusev, he Superman punches Del Rio, and then Sheamus has a steel chair, and he goes in the win, and Roman Reigns catches him with a Superman punch. And then Vince McMahon comes out, and I forgot to mention that earlier in the night, he was arrested, but he obviously, so he ended up making bail, so he left the police station with no interview, and they actually did his mugshot, and his mugshot looks really creepy if you've seen it. So then Vince McMahon comes out and says that I said that, Roman, you weren't going to have the championship very long, and he says that next week on the first Raw of the year, Roman Reigns is going to defend the WWE World Heavyweight Championship against Sheamus, and Vince McMahon is going to be the special guest referee. So I'm assuming what's going to happen next week is Reigns will find a way to beat Sheamus, and Triple H will return next week and just beat the crap out of Reigns. And instead of doing the match at Mania, they're going to push it to the Rumble. And what will happen is at the Royal Rumble, Reigns and Triple H will be wrestling for the title. The Rock's going to come out, and they're going to set up their match for WrestleMania like they wanted to do originally, and now they're actually going to probably be able to do it since The Rock's actually going to be there now. And they're going to do that match, and I'm going to say that Brock Lesnar is going to win the Rumble, and he's going to face Reigns for the belt because they have unfinished business from last year. And Taker's going to come back, and he'll face Cena. And I don't know if I think that would be the main event. Either that or Rock versus Triple H, but I personally think it should be Cena versus Taker. That's like the match I think this should main event Mania. And I'm not sure what they could do for the undercard yet. I do want to see Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn, and that would be really cool. I do want to see Ambrose versus Ziggler for the IC belt at WrestleMania and have Ziggler be a heel. For the tag team titles, I want to see Enzo and Cass versus The New Day, Kofi and Big E, and have Enzo and Cass finally have their big moment at WrestleMania. And I'm not sure what you could do with the Del Rio. You can throw him somewhere, maybe have him face Neville for the U.S. title. And then Big Show and Kane can have their final match. Bray Wyatt probably will wrestle somebody. I'm not sure. Finn Balor, he could wrestle Finn Balor in a Demon versus like Cult Leader match. I think that makes sense. And then you can have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal and have Luke Harper win it. I wouldn't complain about that. Or if Cesaro, I don't think he'll be healthy in time, he can come back and win it. So there is options now that they can do for Mania. I actually was pretty worried for WrestleMania because it wasn't going to be lived up to the hype. But now that The Rock's coming back, I think that definitely adds to the show. And now they can like put stuff in place. And I do see in some combination, Rock versus Triple H, or Rock versus Brock, or Rock versus Cena 3. That's always an option. For Cena, you could do Taker, have him wrestle Reigns for the belt. That's probably about it. There's really not a lot of options you can do with Cena because he beats everybody. You can even have, and even actually, for the WrestleMania, you could have the Wyatts versus the League of Nations too. That's an option. I mean, it's not a great option. I mean, you have to turn one of them face. Obviously, it would have to be the Wyatts. But that is an option. That's something you can do with the Wyatts. So there is options they can do for Mania. I'm just rambling on pretty much. I just, I was supposed to just review Raw, but I'm probably going to talk about this again in a different video. So, there is options they can do for WrestleMania. So now that the Rock's come back, I think now WrestleMania is actually looking pretty well. And I actually liked Raw this week. I really enjoyed it. The only things I hated was there was that Miz TV segment wasn't very good. Well, actually, no, the Miz TV segment actually I thought was it was Big Show versus Ryback and Neville beating Kevin Owens in like 15 seconds. But it wasn't a lot of things to hate. I'm actually gonna rate it a 7 out of 10. I did not think this was gonna be a good show, so I did like it. I think Vince being on the show definitely helps. Even though he doesn't know, even though he's out of touch nowadays, but when he's on the show, it feels like the show is good. And then Cena coming back, they really made this show feel like a big deal. I will say that I didn't really like Cena's match as much because it was the same stuff, but it was good towards the end. So I did like Raw this week. I thought Raw was actually a really good show. This is probably, I'm not gonna say the best show all year. It is a good show. But I'm not gonna say this is like the greatest Raw of the year because it probably I know it wasn't. But this was better. This is an improvement, and I did think that they delivered with Raw this week. So I actually will say a 7 out of 10. So James, you better hope your company's good this week because 7 out of 10. I mean, you actually beat Raw before, but you better hope it's good you better hope your company's good this time because Raw was actually good this week. It was actually watchable. So it was a 7 out of 10. So I'm going to click off now, and when James uploads his WYW video, I will come back and review that. I'm not sure when that will be, so I'll see you guys when it gets to that point. Okay, so now I am going to review the WYW portion of this episode. Sorry for the delay. The episode got up really late. It didn't get up till yesterday, so I couldn't. I didn't have access to it till yesterday, and then I couldn't watch it because I went to a Helping Hands Club party hangout today. So I had to wait until now to watch it. I'm just literally getting a chance now to watch it. I'm trying to find it right now. Just give me a second. But I'm actually looking forward to this one. We already have some tournament matches announced for the WYW Gold Rush because this is the second episode of WYW Gold Rush. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with it because the last episode, I shouldn't say last week, but the last episode they had was really good. And I really enjoyed it. Now this time when I do the episode, I should say episode, but when I do the review, since I couldn't remember what happened in every match when I tried to watch it all at once, what I'm going to do is at least every match or at least like every advertisement or something like that, I'm going to come on here and just talk about what happened in the show so far, and then I'm going to make small videos and edit it to a big video, kind of like what I'm already doing. So that's going to be fun. And I can't wait to see what happens with this tournament. We have 4 new matches in round 1, and whoever wins these obviously will advance to the I think they call it the quarterfinals. And I can't wait to see what happens. I think I know somewhat the matches are, but I'll talk about them when I get there. And I can't wait to see what happens with WYW. So let me just talk about real quick when it was uploaded. Just give me a second. So this episode was uploaded on January 5th, 2016. And yeah. And it says that it hails from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So that's something to keep in mind there. So yeah. So I'll be back to talk about it as it happens. So I hope you guys enjoy the review. Okay, so the show starts off. We have Jonathan Carter and Nathan Ferrara on commentary for the show. And the show starts off with a video package from Jim Cornette. And since they're in Pittsburgh, he talks about how this was the birthplace of ECW. And it was created by one man, Paul E. Dangerously. He actually didn't call him Paul Heyman. He called him Paul E. Dangerously, which I actually liked. I thought that was cool. And he talked about how Paul E. Dangerously created so many stars in ECW, but tonight it's about Wayne Through Wrestling. It's about their heart, their soul, and he announces the next 4 matches in the WYW tournament. And it's matches number 5, 6, 7, and 8. And the matches are Johnny Starr versus Lil Andre, Azareth Smith versus Matthew Nova, Jonathan Brady and He's best known as Kin Tut from the Massasoit Wrestling Corner, which you can check out up here. And also, he has a football channel called the Pro Football Reporters, which you can check out down below. And he has a movie channel, but I don't know the name of it, so I can't tell you what it is. But Jonathan Brady versus Bret Mention. I think that's how you say that. And then Luco Lucky versus James Angel, who they call the heart and soul of WYW. So pretty much he's the Tommy Dreamer of WYW. And if you don't know who James Archangel is, James the Archangel is best known as James the Heat Man Hebert, who runs this show, so you can check it out, because I'm going to post the video itself in the description box, but you can check out WYW itself. That's going to be in the description box. And he has another YouTube channel where he makes custom Titantrons of professional wrestlers. And that was really it. I thought it was something different way to start off a wrestling show. And I thought it was cool. And it was a nice way to just announce some matches. So I thought it was cool. So I thought, the segment was good. Okay, so we get the first match. It's Johnny Starr versus Little Andre. And this was the first match in the first round of the tournament. And every match is an Extreme Rules Falls Count Anywhere match. And what an outstanding match to start out the show. I thought this match was outstanding. Johnny just comes right at him, and he just goes right off on Little Andre. He hits a heel kick, he hits a kick right to the head. He just starts going off on him, and then eventually Little Andre ends up reversing one of his attacks into a suplex. So then later on in the match, Johnny Starr's outside the ring. Little Andre dives over the ropes right onto Johnny Starr, and then Johnny Starr throws Little Andre into the steel steps, and then eventually he tried to do like a throwback bulldog, but he ended up hitting his head onto the steel steps. So this allowed Little Andre to recover, and he hit him off the head with the steps, and this busted Johnny open. And then Little Andre went off and did a senton off the top rope, tried to cover him, but Johnny Starr kicked out. And then I thought this was just great stuff. They did a lot more stuff for this match. Johnny Starr did a elbow drop off a ladder. Well, Little Andre just killed Johnny throughout much of this matchup. I love the way they told the story in the match, where he did a Samoan pile driver numerous times in this match. He did it once, and then he did it later on onto a sledgehammer. And then eventually he does it later on the announce table. One spot, too, that did happen was, I don't know the name of this move, but Little Andre has him like in $1 million dream sleeper. And he ends up throwing him, and Johnny Starr goes right through the announcer's table. I thought that was awesome. And then eventually they start using the steel chair. They suplex each other, and then they do like an arm drag on the chair. They use the chair a lot in this match. Little Andre took the ladder and did like a concerto spot where Johnny Starr's head was on the chair, and then he hits him right up, and then he hits him with the ladder. And I thought that was cool. But Johnny Starr wouldn't quit. He continued fighting. He even hit a I forget what it, like a 450 flip, like a Phoenix splash right off the ladder numerous times. And he wouldn't quit in the match. He hit corkscrew cross bodies onto Little Andre. He hit it with the chair. Eventually, they grabbed the table, and Little Andre hit a leg drop through the table onto Johnny. And then Little Andre hit numerous German suplexes in the match. There was one spot where he did a two back suplexes and then into it, and then did another German suplex. I thought that was awesome. And then Johnny eventually just starts going off on him. He starts, you know, tearing him. He ends up tearing at him. He dives over the ropes. Because after numerous times, too, there was this move. Little Andre would keep hitting the Gorilla Press into the Spine Buster. And he hit that numerous times. And there was a ton of near falls in this match, too. I thought that was cool. And then Johnny starts beating the crap out of him. He takes a replica World Heavyweight Championship belt and just starts beating the crap out of Little Andre with it. And he just starts hitting him over the head with it numerous times. And then eventually Johnny Starr grabs the ladder, but then and sets it up like he's going to do something. And then Little Andre hits a super kick, and he ends up going right into the ladder. And then later on in the match, Johnny Starr kicked Little Andre right into... He kicked Little Andre's head right into the steel post. And then Little Andre ended up throwing Johnny Starr right through a ladder on the outside. And then Little Andre hit like a reverse suplex off the apron onto the floor. I thought that was awesome. And then they hit... Johnny Starr hits a Frankensteiner off the top rope. And they eventually get up on the ladder. And Johnny Starr hits a T-bone suplex right off the ladder. That was awesome. And then one portion, Johnny Starr's outside the ring and he gets him in the Canadian crossface, I think they called it. Because he realized he's not going to beat him, so he tries to make him tap out, but Little Andre gets out of it. And then eventually the match breaks into like complete chaos. Little Andre throws Johnny Starr right into the ladder the first time, and then he sets it up in the corner. And there was multiple times too where Little Andre could have won the match, and he did try, but I think at some point he just wanted to hurt Johnny Starr. And what happened was Little Andre hit like a... I forget what he hit, but he hit like a suplex right through the ladder in the corner. And then eventually Little Andre is just going to go up on the top and end it. And then he goes for the elbow drop, but then he gets caught into the Canadian crossface. And Little Andre ends up tapping out, and Johnny Starr won. He advances in the tournament, and I thought this was great. I thought this actually was great stuff. Little Andre was just killing Johnny Starr in this match, and Johnny Starr refused to quit and ended up pulling out a victory. I thought it was great. So he's celebrating, and then Little Andre, and I forgot to mention too, Little Andre's character is that he's a huge Andre the Giant fan. I forgot to mention that. I should have mentioned that a while ago. And afterwards, Little Andre gets in the ring, and he just beats the crap out of Johnny. He has a kendo stick, and he beats the crap out of him with it, and he's hitting multiple German suplexes. He's just being a sore loser. So pretty much, I had a feeling Little Andre was here, but after this, I know officially that he's a heel. And he's just beating the crap out of Johnny Starr. And then eventually, Kyle and Jason come out, and Little Andre takes off running. And I thought it was great. I thought this was a great match, and I thought this was a great aftermath. And I can't wait to see what happens with the feud between Johnny Starr and Little Andre. I can't wait to see their program together. Probably obviously won't happen until after the tournament's over or something like that. I'm assuming maybe Little Andre would cost Johnny Starr his shot at the tournament, something to that effect. But great opening match. I thought this was all great. Okay, so my apologies because I fell asleep before the video could get uploaded. I fell asleep during the second match because my body was fatigued from the Helping Hands Club hangout yesterday. So I'm gonna continue to doing the review, and I'm gonna try to finish it out today and get this video uploaded. So the next match is Jonathan Brady versus Bret Mention. And I like this. Jonathan Brady's obviously playing the character of a football player. And he's called Brady because he's a huge Tom Brady fan. I mean, I think he is, but I don't really ask Tut about football that much. I'm not gonna lie, because I don't watch sports. So why would I ask someone about sports if I don't watch it? So, like, you know, I think that's cool that he is a football player. I mean, I think he has to find a different character because, you know, the thing is, if he's supposed to be a football player, why isn't he playing football? And why is he a wrestler? I mean, I understand because he likes wrestling, but why isn't he in the NFL and stuff like that? That's something that needs to be addressed. But that's just my little thing. And I liked Bret's mention. I liked the way his entrance came out. He came out with that intensity, and I loved his entrance. And I liked the match. I thought this was a really good match. Well, I thought it was a great match, actually. I think I liked the first match better, but what I did like about this match was this was more of a technical wrestling match, but it did have an extreme high spot, but this match was more technical than the first match. This is probably the most technical match I've seen in the tournament thus far. And I did like that, because you can't have any match be extreme. You got to have some technical wrestling in each match. I don't know if I mentioned this, but every match in the tournament's a Falls Count Anywhere Extreme Rules match. And I like this match. The match immediately started off with Brady hitting a high crossbody right off the bat, and I like that they kicked off with that. And Brady just dominates the first half of the matchup, and then Bret mentioned, and he hits a like a high crossbody headbutt when he bounces when he throws Bret mentioned across the ropes, and then Bret mentioned dominates. They do a lot of chain wrestling in this match, and Bret mentions an amateur wrestler, so that's like his thing, is to be able to do a lot of chain wrestling. So Brady tries to do it, but it doesn't really work out for him, because and then Brady hits a kick to the gut, and then a punt kick to the head, and then one spot mention was on the apron, and Brady was in the ring, mention hits a suplex to Brady on the outside, but he's able to stay in the ring, so he doesn't like hit it like you normally would hit a suplex. It's like a vertical suplex because he still stays on the apron. And then Bret mentioned grabs a replica World Heavyweight Championship belt and hits Brady off the skull with it. And then he grabs a ladder, but Brady is able to take the ladder from him before he can use it. And Brady hits Mention with the ladder. And then Brady hits a belly-to-belly throw on a Mention into the barricade. And then he hits a belly-to-belly throw on a Mention onto the ladder while it was wedged on the steel steps. And then Bret mentioned throws Brady into the steel steps, and then they get back in the ring and start fighting. Mention grabs a steel chair, and he hits a Van Daminator onto Brady with the chair, and then he hits him off the skull with the chair. And they continue fighting, and Bret mentioned hits a chin breaker, which is when he grabs his leg and just drops his leg. I thought that was cool. He hits this several, he continues, he really works on the legs of Brady a lot. He gets him into an ankle lock. He does this move a ton of times in this match where he hooks his arm and he gets him into a camel clutch. I thought that looked really cool. And then one part mentioned wins in a trash can. He does this twice. And the first time Brady reverses it both times. Brady hits a clothesline right on the trash can, and the trash can just kind of breaks. It kind of just crumbles. And then the second time he hits a hip toss on the trash can. And then Brady at one point hits a what he calls a field goal. I think it's called, like, where he grabs him. He does like a high cross. He gets him in like the razor's edge, and then he drops Mention right on his head, and that looked really sick. I think earlier in the match, I forgot to mention this, but Brady hits a sick power bomb right on the outside, right on the Mention. I thought that was really cool. And then Brady hits a senton right through the table. And then Mention hits an elbow drop right through a table onto Brady. Thought that was really cool. And Mention tries to go off the ladder, but Brady tips the ladder over. Brady hits a bull hammer in the ring, but Brady's able to kick out of it. And then they start fighting again on the outside. Brady hits 2 power bombs, one regular on the steps and then one on the apron. But in the game, it doesn't look like he hits it on the apron, but you have to kind of go with it. Some of the stuff that doesn't look, because there is some screw ups because Brady couldn't tip the ladder over right away because there was a trash can in the way. So some of the stuff you do have to go with because it's not their fault that the moves don't look the way that they're supposed to look because the game doesn't, have that. What else happened in this match? Because there was a lot of stuff that happened. Mention hits a elbow drop on the outside, and Mention goes to hit it again later on in the match, but then Brady moves out of the way. At one point, Mention hit the elbow drop. Well, no, I forgot to mention hit arm drags Brady right off the top rope, right onto a ladder, and then Mention goes to pin him, but Brady kicks out at 1 like he's pissed, and I like the way the commentators hyped that up like he was pissed. Mention hit a blockbuster on the outside, and then later he hits it on the replica World Heavyweight Championship belt, and one of the commentators says, right on the title. And then the other one, I can't name the commentators as of right now. I'm just going to say, so I'm just going to guess at this point. I think his name is Jonathan Carter, says, he just hit it right on the title, Michael. And if you get the joke, because JBL on commentary always says Michael. So I thought that was really hilarious. And then Brady hits a gut wrench powerbomb, which is his finisher on the outside. And then he gets him in the camel clutch on the outside. And then Bret Mention reverses it. He ends up dropping him on the outside. I thought that was really cool. And then they continue fight. Obviously, I think Bret Mention's supposed to be the heel in this match. There was a table wedged in the corner. And Mention tried to put it through it, but Brady counters it and puts Mention through the table. Brady hits a spear on Mention, but he kicks out of it. And then eventually, this is when the match really gets good. Brady, because then Mention spears Brady through the apron. But then towards the end of the matchup, Brady tosses Mention outside the ring. And then Mention's outside, and there's a ladder wedged in the rope, on the ropes. And Brady goes off the ladder and hits a spear while Mention's standing through the announcer's table. That was awesome. That was like the moment. They always do these moments on the matches too, which I like. Which a lot of professional sports do it. I've seen it before where they talk about what the big moment of the match is. I kind of wish WWE would do this a lot more. And I did like that. And then he gets Mention in the ring, and Brady goes to do a move off the top rope, but Mention catches him with the bull hammer and gets the victory. I thought it was good. I thought it was a really good match. I thought it was a great matchup, actually, and I really enjoyed it. So, great matchup right there. Okay. Holy fuck, this was a match. And if you saw this match, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. We get Azareth Smith versus Matthew Nova. Holy fuck, that's all I have to say. Like, what the fuck was... This was a fucking match. They fucking killed themselves out here with this match. It was fucking great. I can't even explain this match. But I obviously can, but it's like... What a fucking match. This is all... I don't even know how you can top this match. If they top this match, I'm gonna be fucking shocked. I can't even explain it. But, so the match starts off, with, they just go all out with each other. They hit... There was a really fast-paced match. It was a really fast-paced match. It was really fast. Like, your eyes were glued to the screen. And it starts out with a back suplex by Matt. And then they just go at it with each other. They hit... Azareth hits hits 2 punches in the corner, then an uppercut. And then he tries to do it again later on. Matt just fucking power bombs him out of the corner. And then he goes for a Azareth goes to go off the top rope. Matt counters with a scoop slam. Holy fuck. And you know, they just hit really high, fast-paced matchups. And then eventually, McMahon hits a crossbody while he's on the floor. There was a lot of moonsaults, and they hit moonsault. Matt hit a moonsault in this match. Like, holy fuck. And then eventually, Azareth goes for to hit a frog splash, and then McMahon was able to roll outside the ring before he hits the move. And he ends up going on the floor. Then Azareth hits that vertical suplex, outside the ring, but stays on the apron. They fight on the outside. Azareth dives over the top rope on the mat. That was cool. And then they fucking go ham on each other. Azareth throws Matt into a katana Fan was holding. Matt hits Azareth with a replica World Heavyweight Championship belt. And then Matt puts Azareth over the barricade and hits him with a crutch that a Fan was holding. And that was fucking sick. Holy fuck, you know. Then eventually Azareth does the same thing. Azareth hits Matt with a steel chair. Azareth hits a gory bomb right into the steel post, into the apron there, and Matt ends up falling onto the steel chair. That was awesome. Matt repeatedly hits Azareth with the steel steps, and one time he just hits him in the fucking steps, and his face is like in the steel post while this is happening. Fucking awesome. And then when he just hits him, he just falls right to the fucking ground. What was Matt, holy fuck. I'm trying to remember, and then they get back in the ring. Azareth hits his signature, which is when he, hits a karate kick right to the fucking face. Azareth kicks out of that. And, they start really going out on each other. They put a ladder into the match. They start exchanging moonsaults on each other. Matt hits a moonsault, misses, and they would keep reversing moonsault after moonsault after moonsault after moonsault. When eventually Matt ended up hurting his leg earlier in the match, and he kicks him in the leg, and then he does a moonsault, so he ends up winning the moonsault, and he does it to the back. One part of the match, Azareth tries to get up to do his comeback, and, was it Azareth or Matt? I don't remember, not gonna lie. I think it was Azareth, and Matt hits a, Nova neckbreaker, onto, Matt, onto Azareth, but he kicks out of it. Then he ends up doing his comeback. He just fucking gets fueled up. He hits a corkscrew pin, kicks out of it. He does hit, and then, he hits a gory bomb, and he does his finish, what I think is called the Azareth bomb. I forget what it's called, not gonna lie, but it's like the high cross, pretty much, slash Razor's Edge. Holy fuck. Then Matt does his comeback. I love his comeback. They fucking brawl. They continue. They just fucking go on at each other. I remember they brought a ladder into the match. They fucking went ham at it. Azareth powerbomb Matt right off the ladder. And he ended up hitting his head right on the ropes. All three of them. Matt hit a dive off the ladder. What the fuck? And then Azareth tries to use the ladder, but Matt hits a springboard drop kick. Holy fuck. They fight on the outside a lot more. Azareth hits Matt right in the throat with a crutch. Azareth is just getting his ass kicked at one point. Matt's fucking going off on him. Azareth hits a power bomb next to the ladder, and then he goes to powerbomb him through the ladder, but he counters it. Or does he power? And then through the ladder. It's just fucking, you know, hard for me. And then he hits the Razor's Edge on the ladder while it's on a steel chair. And I remember Matt did something while he did the Razor's Edge, I think, while there was a steel chair on the steel steps. That was awesome. Matt has the Nova bomb. Well, the Nova, it's like a Swanton bomb. Both times Azareth kicks out of it. Azareth tries to go for a frog splash off the ladder, but Matt rolls outside the ring before Azareth can hit the move. Then eventually the match ends when Azareth hits the high cross right off the turnbuckle. And off the turnbuckle and gets the victory that way. I can't even, like, I think I went through every spot, but it feels like I missed some spots. I probably did. The crucifix that they were hitting on each other from out of nowhere at one point. Fucking awesome. Like, I can go through, like, for days and days about how great this match is, because it was fucking great. It was fucking amazing. It was a fucking clinic. The commentary, everything was just on point with this match. The commentary in this match, fucking awesome. Everything was just spot on with this match that I loved. I loved this match. I don't know if it's my favorite match in the tournament, but it's my favorite match on the show so far. So we're going to have to wait and see if the main event can really deliver. And if the main event is fucking better than this match, then this show will be better than Raw. It already is, but this show will blow fucking Raw out of the park. Okay, so Luco Lucky gets interviewed, and he gets interviewed by, I don't remember his name off the top of my head. Just give me a second. It's not telling me his name. I'm trying to fit, and it keeps Zachary Westland, I think is how you say his name. And he says that this is what Irish toughness looks like, the real Celtic warrior, referencing Sheamus because, you know, he's not really a Celtic warrior anymore. And he says that tonight he's gonna beat James the Archangel because when it comes with that WYW World Heavyweight Championship on the line, everybody else is fucked. Yeah, they're fucked. Okay, so we get the main event on the show, and we get Luco Lucky versus James the Archangel. And I really enjoyed this match. I like Luco Lucky's character. That he's just pretty much a crazy Irish brawler. And I think he's pretty much what Sheamus should have been all along. I mean, Sheamus started off that way in 2009, but then eventually he became a joke, pretty much, well, like one of those fun-loving Irishmen in mid-2012, going into 2013. So I'm glad Luco Lucky is like this, and I hope he stays like this. And if you have, because I think he's a heel, I think. But from this match, I don't know who's face or heel because of the fact that they both seem babyface to me. But if I had to say who was heel, by Luco Lucky's promo, I say he was a heel. But then again, I can make the argument that he is a face too, because he wants to win this tournament, so that's why he cut the promo that he did. So I'm not really sure what he's supposed to be yet. I have to see him a little bit more, because I think right now with this tournament, it's tough to dictate who is face or heel, because of the fact that when they cut these promos, they have passionate about winning this tournament. Like, obviously, I know Little Andre is a heel because of the way he was acting, but some of these stuff, I can't tell who's a heel or a face as of right now. I probably would have to watch the past stuff more, which I definitely will do. But anyhow, so let me talk about the match. I like the way the match started. Well, because James the Archangel has the most experience. Him and Michael X are the most experience out of the tournament. So he kind of does a little taunt to kind of show that he's cocky. That's why about this. but Luco Lucky just annihilates him in the beginning. He hits a big boot in the corner, but then eventually James the Archangel hits a crossbody, and he starts going off on him, and they just do a lot of chain wrestling. Luco Lucky hits his signature, the Spine Buster. James the Archangel hits his signature, and they just start going back and forth. Luco Lucky hits about 7 headbutts in this match, and then eventually they start fighting on the outside. They hit each other with ladders on the outside. At one point, Luco Lucky busts James open. I forget how he did it. I think he hit him with a replica belt, I think. Either that or he hit him with a wind bell. And then Luco Lucky's just really taking it to James. So then James gets heated. So he just wants to bust open Luco Lucky. And he does it with different ways. He hits him with a baseball bat several times. He hits him with a steel chair and has a Van Daminator with the chair. Hits him with a ladder. He just really tries to bust him open pretty much. At one point, Luco Lucky and James even ended up hitting a double dropkick before James had gotten busted open. When James was on the apron and Luco Lucky was on the going off the top rope, they both hit a double dropkick on each other. And then Luco Lucky hits a what's he called it? The Irish, I forget what he calls it, but his finisher through a table. And then Luco Lucky continues attacking him. Luco Lucky hits a James continues the assault. He ends up busting him open with a kendo stick, and this pisses off Luco Lucky. They continue fighting. Even James hits his finisher. And eventually Luco Lucky hits his finisher, but he kicks out of it, and then eventually James big boots his head into the turnbuckle, and pretty much dominates the match at this point. He hits a Angels wins, tries to make him tap out. Then eventually he hits a power bomb on the steps and the ladder, but hits the steps more. Then he does it a second time, and then this time he hits the ladder more and pins him and gets the victory. And James the Archangel advances, and he's actually going to be facing Azareth in the second round in a submission match. And they haven't the story is they having a feud, so this was just to one up each other because they both took out their opponents by using ladders. So I thought this was a great main event. I thought this match was great. And as overall, I would say if I had to give this episode a rating, I'm going to give this episode a 10 out of 10. I can't give it anything but that because that it was just a perfect episode. Everything was really perfect. I liked Jim Cornette's video package. I liked the first match. And then Little Andre's heel turn afterwards. I liked the second match. The third match was the match of the night. It was really fast-paced. I love that match. I liked this match because they were both willing to do anything that it took to win this tournament. I thought this was great. However, I'm not going to trash Raw, though, because Raw did put up a good fight this week. They did have a 7 out of 10 show, and I thought they put up a great fight for this episode, better than they did the first time. So I am not going to trash Raw either, because I thought this was a pretty good fight for both shows. But WYW just was the better show. That's just how I feel. But that's pretty much it, guys. If you want to subscribe to me, you click down below to subscribe. And I don't know when the next episode will be because I have the next episode already almost uploaded. I already reviewed that episode of Raw, which was this week's Raw. So I have to wait until the next episode of WYW is uploaded. So once that is, you'll get the next episode of this. And make sure to check out all the stuff down below. Make sure to check out WYW and this episode. And I probably should have said this earlier, but if you're at this far in the video and get pissed that I spoiled the episode for you, then that's your own fault because you're an idiot for doing that because you should have watched the episode first before I review WYW. Well, that's pretty much it, guys. I'll be back at some other point to make a video. I'm actually going to be back later on today to do the Aftershock Corner, so make sure you check that out. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.